Production for Altered's first set is well underway. There have been many updates with good and bad news recently, and I'll be summing everything up in this video. The Altered team has been very transparent with frequent updates and live streams called AMAs where fans can ask them anything. In the most recent AMA, they did the first live booster openings. I'll have that running in the background. Now let's dive into everything Kickstarter backers and prospective players should know for the coming months. The first update is that Altered's official release was pushed back a couple of weeks to September 13th, 2024. Originally, they thought the Kickstarter delivery would not be impacted, which turned out to be partially true. Europe is expected to receive product in July as originally planned, while North America can now expect the pledges to arrive in August, and the rest of the world should have them by August or September. I'm definitely hoping things arrive earlier in August rather than later, but there was one surprise that helps to make up for the delay. The uncut sheets for the Divine pledges will be delivered earlier than expected, around June 24th for everyone. As a result, the full set will quickly be spoiled as people start taking pictures, and it seems like Equinox has been accelerating the spoilers they share recently to match this new timeline, with pack openings like this and things where new cards are randomly revealed. Even with slight product delays, having the cards spoiled will at least allow players to print their own proxies and start enjoying the game very soon. One interesting thing to note is that while the Kickstarter products will be produced by Cardamundi, future products for outside of Europe will be printed by Ludofact. They've assured us that both companies are working together and should have similar quality. The only difference they've noted so far is that Cardamundi uses offset printing, with a second printer adding the QR codes. As such, the QR codes may be slightly off-center as in these photos. On the other hand, Ludofact will use digital printing for all of the cards, and the QRs will all be centered. Cards printed with print on demand will also always have centered QR codes for all regions. I'm curious if collectors will prefer the offset QR codes because they prove it was an original, or if they'll reprint the cards to center the QRs. It was super fun seeing all of the new spoilers in this pack opening. While they didn't get a unique card in this one, later in the stream they pulled the first unique from an Altered booster. I was super excited watching this live. It turned out to be a Young-Soo with one more water stat than the rare, but it also costs one more from the reserve. Instead of gaining 2 boosts when played from anywhere, if you have 3 or more base statistics of 0 among characters you control, he'll draw a card. There's also a support ability to return a spell from your reserve to the hand. This version's great for card advantage, and getting up to 2 draws is nice, but I don't necessarily think it's better than the bigger stats and lower cost you find in the Lyra rare version. But as the first unique ever, I'm sure it's going to be highly sought after. Moving on from the card reveals, there's also been a lot revealed about the future for the online portion of the game. Looking at the digital roadmap, we can see what the team has planned. Players can already make an account right now on the Altered website and claim their username. If you haven't done so, I'd encourage you to check it out. With the delivery of the Kickstarter in July, mass scan of cards will become available, making it much easier for players to upload their collections to the app. You'll be able to read the lore behind your cards and trade from your collection with friends. Sadly, monetary transactions, the marketplace, and print on demand will not be supported at this point, so many players may find it difficult to complete their decks for casual or competitive play. To do so, you may have to resort to some proxies again, or buy additional sealed product, or turn to other platforms where singles are sold. For the official release in September, the online deck builder will become available, and players will also be able to use their collections, including unique cards, on Board Game Arena. Various resources will be available for local game stores who want to host in-person tournaments too, and players will be able to learn about these events through the app. There will be tons of opportunities for players to play on release, and during the last quarter of the year, Marketplace and Print on Demand will become available, making it even easier for players to complete their proxy and official decks. And throughout 2025, future additions will be made to the digital side to track player records, help shops, and improve organized play. And while we're on that topic, let's take a closer look at what organized play will look like. There will be several types of organized play events for Altered. The most basic one will be weekly expeditions at your local game stores. They've said they want to keep these local stores at the center of our universe, and with advertising and registration through the app, that shouldn't be hard. There will also be amazing prizes, which we'll get to in a second. High stakes confluence tournaments will also be available. These will provide the opportunity to participate in competitive play over multiple days, and everyone attending should expect to leave with amazing souvenirs. At this point, a lot of things are still up in the air, but they are planning to have these in the US and Europe, and there will potentially be 1v1 as well as team events available. And the pinnacle of competitive play will be Altered's Worlds in 2025, where a champion or champions will be crowned. The wording they use here that suggests that there could be multiple champions is interesting to me. I wonder if that'll be because they'll have one champion for each faction, or it might just imply that there will be 1v1 and team champions. Here you can see the organized play roadmap laid out. I'm super excited that these expeditions will start as early as the retail launch, and it looks like the Confluence tournaments will take place for the US in February, Europe for March, and then the US again in June, as well as a second Europe tournament in July. The first Worlds is set to take place around September, a year after the official release. During Altered's first year, I bet most players will just participate in the expeditions, but that's totally fine because as I mentioned before, the prizing is amazing. Equinox is planning to introduce an adventure pass, which is completely free, and every time players compete in an expedition, they'll unlock one level of the pass. Each level has its own prize, ranging from player icons to card foilers to exclusive alternate art cards. At the beginning of the season, players will choose to align with the faction, and while they don't have to play that faction in the tournaments, as they compete, they'll be able to unlock the alternate cards for that faction. These specific alternate art cards will be exclusive to the pass, which will make it impossible for any player to get their hands on all of them without trading. Winners will also be rewarded handsomely with 8 promo boosters given to the shop to be divided among the top 8 players. Since the original announcement, they've also said that they'll be adding in a 9th pack that shops can choose to give out through drawings or how they please. And while these packs only have 3 cards, they're going to be pretty stacked, containing some combination of rare and unique foilers, alternate art tokens, or 2024 promo cards. I'll definitely be visiting my local game store consistently as I try to complete my promo card set. And if you're excited for in-person Altered and promo cards, I have more good news for you. The Altered Roadshow is back, with even more stops this time around than before. We don't have all the news yet, but we've been told that around early June, we'll be able to see all of the locations and times on the Altered website. I attended the first Roadshow and it was a blast. It's a great opportunity to introduce friends to the game, try in-person play with pre-built decks, and get a free full art leader card. I'm excited to make more friends in my local community and get more promo cards to use as heroes. And if you aren't convinced, subscribe and watch out for a future video where I'll be sharing more about my experience with the first Altered Roadshow. There's been so much exciting news recently. Let me know in the comments what you're most excited for. Leave a like to support the channel and make sure to check back frequently for everything you need to know about the Altered trading card game.